alert, major bag alert. Bag alert. Middlekauff. We're Middlekauff's house again, just like we were for the Thursday pod.
Never left.
Side by side, never left. I've been sleeping here, didn't shower, same clothes. This mailbag is sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. We love it.
#1 vodka in America. No big deal. Sponsor of the podcast and the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're listening to this, go subscribe.
Yeah, buddy. All right. We are also brought to you by mybookie.ag, promo code Hammond, the #1.
Yep. Where to get your gamble on. If you're listening to this on Saturday, college football is going. If Sunday right around the corner, then you got Monday Night Football, Chiefs, New York Giants, Joe Judge, Andy Reid.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Puesto Mexican. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Get yourself a taco. Get yourself a margarita. Puesto Tacos. Concord, Santa Clara for our Bay Area people. La Jolla for Southern California folks.
And several other Southern California locations.
Google it.
Go to Eat Puesto. Go to their website and you can see for yourself. And the Daily Tip presented by BetMGM. Before you bet, go check out the Daily Tip.
Yeah, go listen.
Podcast. It's a show. Okay, mailbag, very simple. This is what you do. You go to iTunes. You leave us a review. 5 stars, although there's one in here that's not 5. Tell us your favorite bar, and that's how you get in the mailbag. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, here we go. First up, this is from Jason. He says, been rocking with you guys since 2017. You make the 4 a.m. commute enjoyable from the south into the South Bay, especially on Mondays. Favorite bar is Hilltop in East Sac. You been there?
No, have you?
No. Jukebox games are on, shuffleboard, ping pong table, and you can drink the night for $50. Drink for the night for $50. Is that like a $50 all you can drink, or is that like it just at the end of the night your bill will be $50?
Well, if you're drinking beer and you're at a hole in the wall, you probably drink for pretty cheap at certain places, right?
Yeah. $50. It's like 3 drinks.
I know.
At Hillstone. All right. Question. What are the chances Trey Lance is like 90% healthy, but Shanahan's just saying he's injured to curb the QB questions for a week and go all in on a must-win game and give Jimmy Garoppolo one last chance to win these next 2 winnable games? Feel like if Jimmy G had been traded in the offseason, Lance wouldn't even be on the injury report this year. This question came before the very winnable Colts game that they lost. So now he's counting the Bears game. What are the chances Trey Lance is 90% healthy, but Garoppolo?
I mean, I'll listen to conspiracy theories for the last couple of weeks. It didn't make sense to me, to miss practice. Like I remember, I guess, Dak played Sunday night. I was thinking they played Thursday night, so you'd already watched. But Dak got hurt like one of the last plays, the last game they had. Something weird happened to his calf, and people were like, something to keep an eye on. And then they had the bye, and you're like, keep it. Then he starts practicing Wednesday. You're like, oh, and he's like, I feel a little, but I'm gonna be okay. It was a little weird. Trey didn't practice at all after the bye, was it not?
I mean,
he claimed it was worse than they expected, but he claims that a lot.
The one thing I would say is
they have a lot of worse than expected. No
all
shit.
The time.
Kinlaw, where is he?
Oh, we didn't even talk about Kinlaw in the last spot. LA waiting to find out if he got surgery. Maybe we know by now. The one thing is, like, does Kyle Shanahan think Nate Sudfeld's a better backup quarterback than Trey Lance? Because he didn't have Trey Lance available. For
no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
So that's the thing that keeps me from going all in on the conspiracy is that he deactivated Trey Lance for that.
Well, let's just do a big picture take. Do you think it's possible in 2021 with a rookie quarterback represented by CAA? Do you think it's possible to pull off a fake injury? There's too many people would have to be involved.
With a young quarterback, it might be possible. Again, I don't think that's what happened, but is it possible? If it's going to work, it's going to work with a young quarterback who doesn't want to rock the boat and has been told your time is coming.
And it's coming because of what they paid for.
And it's coming. And it's like, hey, man, look, the trade deadline is 2 weeks away. We're just trying to get this guy's value up.
So you work with the agent, and maybe he doesn't even know it all. He just listened to Tom Condon's guy, right?
It's like, look, man, if you fake this injury, we're going to start him. He's going to play well for 2 weeks. Then we're going to trade him. Then it's all yours.
What if he can't grip the ball and the ball can't fly out of his hand in the wet, in the rain in Indy, and now his trade value is 0?
Yeah, well, then it doesn't work.
What if they just cut Jimmy?
Like make Trey the starter and then just cut him?
Yeah, I mean, would they really want to pay him $10 million to stay at home? I guess he wouldn't stay at home. Someone would sign him. But
trade him by Tuesday. For a second to New England.
Traded by
Isn't
Tuesday?
that the report? No. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. All right, next up. This is from Oshkosh Niner fan. Love the pod, guys. I never miss an episode. I was pumped to hear John reference our Twitter conversation about Allen's loopy release. Here's my follow-up. Do you think it's easier to speed up release without changing a quarterback's motion? I personally feel changing a quarterback motion is almost impossible. Small tweaks, yes, but I can't think of a complete overhaul that ever stuck. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, maybe. To John's point, Allen's motion is longer than most, but he whips through his motion faster, so the ball comes out quicker. Can't Trey do the same thing?
You know who's got a loopy release?
Oh, I didn't put this one up. Sorry.
That's not playing well is Darnold. Darnold has a long, elongated release. And unlike Lance and obviously unlike Allen, not as much velocity on it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, he's not that accurate, not that much. Like that to me, I could see where Matt Rule's like, wait, LSU's calling me? David, listen, you don't owe me the rest of the $50 million. I'm just going to Louisiana. I'm never going to play with a guy like Sam Darnold again. The good thing is Trey is like, those three guys stand out in my head of the long release. Sam's just not as physically gifted as a thrower as those guys.
Yeah.
Allen has figured out how to like, you just got to find, someone tweeted at me and you, definitely me, the Kaepernick throw at Tampa. He was at the 40 at the, what's it called? His own 40?
Minus 40.
He was at the minus 40. Vernon caught it probably 3 or 4 yards into the end zone. And it was, I wouldn't call it like a bomb like Derek, but it wasn't a true laser, but it was, Vernon had to keep running. He extended his hand. And Colin had a little bit longer of a release, but
Colin definitely had a longer release.
So to me,
he would make up for it.
That's the good
with
thing.
Velocity.
Trey has velocity, right? So right away, you have velocity, you can do it. But the one thing where Kaepernick struggled, right, was the feel for the game wasn't there. And Allen didn't have that early. So to me, you got to like encompass a lot. I don't think you're ever going to be like a Dan Marino release with Trey. Honestly, his release may never change. If you told me right now, could you change his release or can he master the game of football? You would just take mastering the game of football and then figuring out just more touch and stuff. Like Colin couldn't master like who was where.
Right. Yeah. And he couldn't take any off the fastball. I think this is what I keep saying with Trey. It's like, yes, I don't know why we argue about whether it's loopy or not. Like it clearly has some loop to it. But it's more about I keep saying this, you can speed up the arm when you start to move your brain faster and anticipate, and when your velocity is there. So with good velocity and a better understanding of what's happening, more anticipation, I guess is the way to say it, then you speed up the arm. And I'm sure they'll work with him to speed. I mean, it may always kind of look like this. Maybe the footwork gets a little better. We watched that JT O'Sullivan video. He was talking a lot about that. Maybe the footwork gets a little better. Maybe you tighten up a little bit with the arm. I don't think he has to look dramatically different in order to be a more efficient thrower.
He's got just a great release. It's really just, what you want is Derek.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, Jimmy too. But Derek is the good version of Jimmy. Like it just quick, throws it harder.
Has touch.
Whew.
I love watching Derek throw.
Derek, pure thrower of the ball.
Yeah.
If Derek was a golfer, you'd just be like, he's got a sweet swing, right?
Yeah. What swing would he have?
Like Rory. That's Roy's probably like Dan Marino.
Morikawa.
Jim Furyk is like Trey.
No. All right. Kenny says, great pod. Assuming the Niners keep the front office and head coach, what position coaches or front office consultants, similar to the Warriors and Jerry West, would you envision the team adding to bring in some new ideas and voices to the room? Minor shakeup is probably needed. Keep it up. Kenny, how about a guy named Hike Hanahan taking over in the front office? A guy with a mustache, about 5'11".
The thing is, like, I think we talked a lot about this, like with Tom Sula and Chip. Like, they need to bring someone else in. It's weird. Their draft has been a little hit or miss, but that's like, you're not bringing in like hired help for John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
Like, those are kind of the guys.
Hey guys, this is Ron Wolf.
Ultimately, and I know they won, but it was like, we're Bob Myers and Steve Kerr. Like, we're not fucking answering everything to Jerry.
Well,
now,
also,
if there was a Jerry West, I would be okay.
But I would say this: it was Jerry West was there, then Jerry left, and you don't go, let's find our next consultant. You had Jerry West. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fill the consultant role necessarily.
Wasn't Mike Shanahan Kyle's consultant for 30 years? 35?
Yeah, his life consultant.
Yeah, but football too. He worked for him.
Yeah, he sent him practice tape. I'm just saying, you don't, when it's the consultant. It's not, now the question was also like, are you?
What about John Elway? Bring John Elway in to kind of just hang out and just talk ball.
Is that what they're missing? John Elway?
Well, I don't know. I'm just the Jerry West doesn't really. Honestly, there's only one. Everyone keeps like, find their Jerry West. You mean like one of the greatest basketball players of all time and one of the greatest general managers in NBA history?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you had Jerry West. The Warriors didn't try to replace Jerry West when Jerry left. It was like, okay, we had Jerry. We learned from Jerry. He's moved on. We're not going to hire a consultant just for the sake of it.
I'll give you a consultant. It's kind of a hybrid consultant, but he's picking players too. Let's say Pete's fired, and Pete's like, listen, I'm 70. I'm not going to be a head coach again, but I still want to be close to it. And Kyle has a lot of respect for him. And the Niners have a lot of respect. And Pete, I don't even know what a job would be, but like Pete Carroll,
He was a Niner.
I could see him and John Lynch loving each other. Like, there's just a lot of vibes.
Like
there.
Pete's like, all right, ideas. We're putting basketballs in every meeting room.
Yeah, just doing fun shit.
Gum in every bowl.
Now, is he too big? Like, would he?
You know, that one feels like, to me, I think the question that.
But when
Kenny's
you say
getting at
Jerry
is
West,
more-
I can't say like.
but he also said like position like it might just be, did some position coaches change? You know, I don't know. If Kyle has a problem with somebody, yes, I don't think it's going to be like, Kyle, your secondary hasn't been good. Replace Corey Underland. Fine, I'll do it. Like, I think the whole thing, the whole time has been Kyle takes no instruction from anybody unless he wants it.
Well, that goes back to like people think, and again, they say this in a good way, like Kyle's arrogance. You know, it's like he's not really
Self-belief.
It does feel like he's not Mr. Open to ideas. And it goes back to talking
good
to
idea. He was open to the Trey Lance idea.
I know, but you know, Mike Shanahan, you think Kyle's, has an arrogant, cocky nature to him. I think Mike was always known as like the little general.
Yeah.
He was like the version of Chris Alt.
Rosenfels or something.
Oh, they called him out for saying he was kind of a dick.
Was it like a Mike? I think I saw like an infographic on the internet.
I don't think people would describe Mike Shanahan to be like
collaborative.
Yeah, Sean McVay or something.
Next up, AJ. Pod Rocks, Car for MVP. My favorite podcast. I don't miss but the rare show. Appreciate y'all. 5 stars. Just looked on my bookie, promo code HAM1, of course. The MVP odds for Derek Carr are plus 220. Plus 220. Do you want to read this one? I don't know. I mean, you're sitting here. You can read them.
Yeah. Plus, so basically 22-1 seems incredible value. I would agree. This is a story the NFL will glob onto and story that will continue to gain steam. I think this guy's on to some good points. If they win the AFC West, I think he's a lock for MVP given the narrative. And he's got some good points here.
The Gruden thing.
And I think he's got a good shot even as a wild card team. Maybe throw some of your winnings on Carr for MVP.
What's that?
With 3 kids under 6, I don't darken the doors of too many bars these days. My favorite spot to drink and watch a game is my brother-in-law's backyard. Been hitting the John Daly's lately. Tito's, of course. Thanks to you for beating us over the head with the new partnership. Guess it works. A drink that's this delicious and one I had forgotten. I will say the back bar at La Conda Ravello in Danville, never been there, is a sneaky good spot to watch a game, and the patio at Hazy Barbecue looks legit.
Didn't somebody else just bring up Hazy Barbecue?
That sounds good. I could go for some barbecue right now. I have a salad in the fridge. It's like, I don't fucking eat that. I do think, Derek, if they win 11 games, his coach was fired, and he keeps just putting up. God, he just threw. I know the Eagles were in shambles. 91% with 33 attempts. That is an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah.
Who would be his main? We're recording this before. Well, this is Saturday, but before Kyler played, Kyler's in the mix, right?
Kyler, I think Lamar's going to be in the mix for sure. Lamar,
but
Jackson.
I would say, would Lamar be behind Derek right now?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, Lamar's lost a lot, right, in terms of support early in the year, running backs, receivers.
He's won it before, too. It's harder.
Does it help him or hurt him?
Mahomes is out. What about our band, Josh Allen? What if he
Josh Allen, absolutely.
Josh Allen, 13-4. Carr, 12-5. Similar stats. Who has like more?
Gruden. It feels like
Gruden fired is a big help.
It feels like Josh Allen has more just like it's
Yeah.
going to be his time coming off of last year, this all-time great year.
They had the 1 seed, maybe.
Who won the MVP last year?
Tom. Oh, Rodgers did. Remember he threw 50 touchdowns?
Oh, yeah. So Allen has this great year, but he gets beat up by Rodgers. So it feels like maybe he'd get it. But, man, I think this is a great –
because Rodgers was a pretty
Where's
unanimous.
my player props here, John?
I don't see it.
Maybe I got to go to a different spot.
Click it right there, yeah.
Sorry, we're on player props or MVP? Where's the MVPs? We're working at a different setup here, people. I'm a little further away.
Try player props.
I don't think this has it.
I don't think it does. Yeah, it's not up right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great argument for Derek that the narrative a little bit kind of feeds Derek.
Oh, you know what they do? You know what they do on certain ones? They bring them down when certain guys play. Because of Kyler, like we're recording this on Thursday and Aaron are playing. Just a guess.
Maybe that's why it's
that
up
might
there.
not
Anyway.
be true. I just made that up.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great call because I think he's going to keep playing well, and I think there is a built-in like MVP means more than just the numbers you put up, and being the leader of the franchise after John Gruden left in the middle of the year.
If we ran a sports book and someone walked up like, I want to bet on Jimmy Garoppolo midway through the season to win the MVP,
Yeah.
what are your guys' odds? What would you place your odds at if you ran the book?
Like right now today,
Yeah.
We said Derek's 22-1. I'd say Jimmy
750 to 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Could he get back in the mix if he just started throwing 4 touchdowns a game and they never lost the rest of the season? Would he have a?
Well, yeah, of course.
What would it take?
4 touchdowns a game and never losing is absolutely an MVP level season.
Would 750 be too high, too risky?
for the book.
Yeah, because the guy put $100 on it. You'd owe the guy $75,000.
I don't think that's too risky.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But also, who's making that bet?
Nobody. Jimmy's brother.
It is Jimmy's homecoming this week, John. Chicago. Marquise Goodwin revenge game. This question says, Kyle's taken a lot of heat and criticism for the way his team's been playing. With that said, do you think he's at the end of the road with the team or safe for next year? How real is the possibility that he's not the coach next season? His contract goes through 2025. I was thinking about this the other day. So Mark Davis gave John Gruden a 10-year, $100 million contract.
In 17?
Now, he did say they've reached some agreement to not whatever, right?
18, 19, 20.
This was year 4, right?
18.
But even though he gave him 10 for 100, is it possible that Jed York over a rolling 10-year period spent more on coaches?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely early Kyle when he's also playing Chip.
Yeah, and Tom Sula. I think.
Tom Sula.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe not 100 million. Probably didn't spend 100, but Jim was making. What was Jim making by the end? 8 million.
Maybe
he wanted 8.
No, because he had signed the 5 for 25,
Yeah,
and then he wanted like an 8 for 50, or 8 for 5.
I think Kyle. The only thing to me that prevents Kyle from being on the team next year is Kyle has some blow up or something.
I think the greatest conspiracy theory that it's like, and listen, I'll believe most is that Jim threw the game because he's playing his brother. Is the dumbest
the
thing.
Super Bowl.
The Niners believe that. Like it's been reported. Like
yeah.
Which basically says Jed believed that he threw the game because he wanted his fucking younger brother to win the Super Bowl.
Hey, Vernon on the first play, or was it Crabtree? Line up off sides.
Come on.
We're going to hit a big play, but line up off sides.
Yeah.
Jim didn't call it. Well, I don't even know how. Here's the thing.
It was a weird spot.
How would Jim Harbaugh throw the Super Bowl if he was going to throw the Super Bowl?
We didn't call plays. Yeah. I don't know.
Like just have some. Oh man, Harbaugh's like intentional weird vibes around the office.
It wasn't debatable that he didn't feel comfortable.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
like if he makes it's.
He could have chose any other coach. It would not have been John.
Hell no. The opponent is like his enemy.
Who do you think Jack and if you were his parent, like who are you rooting for?
I mean, John already won one, right?
No.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, deep down, you have to like one of them more.
Feels like they always like Jim was their favorite in a weird way.
Yeah, sometimes the crazy kid that needs your. I mean, not that John's normal, but maybe they knew like John could handle this.
That does suck. You both make a Super Bowl and you got to fucking face your brother because you want to hate your opponent.
How about for your parents? That's insane.
It's awful. That's an underrated story that we've never talked about anymore. The two brothers coached against each other in the Super Bowl.
Like for the Mannings, it's easy. Like Olivia just likes Eli the most,
but they never played each other in Super Bowl.
All right, next up.
Does feel like Tom's their cool cousin, who's like more accomplished, and it's like impossible. It's like, yeah, we have 2 brothers, 4 combined Super Bowls. They're worth $700 million.
But Tom only has sisters, so he gets to hang out with them.
And they have this cousin who was like friends with them, who accomplished way more than both of them combined. But he likes them both. It's a weird deal.
Bad boy Phil, Chicago love, 4 stars.
Yeah, come on, low ball on us.
I don't know if I want to read this. Big fan of the pod, guys. Well, I mean, not 4 stars.
Come on, man. Be better.
Big fan of the pod. I always let you like read an Amazon review. And
he might have just not, going fast.
No, I think he's fucking with us. Like you'll see a review, it'll be like 4 stars, not 5. And it'll always be like, I would have given 5 stars, but one of the pieces came damaged. It's like, okay, well, fuck. I just want to know, is the TV good or not? I'm going to roll the dice that it doesn't come damaged.
Do you ever read YouTube reviews or just comments on a music video? Like if you just watching music, go to YouTube. It is classic. They're always being like, especially if it's something from the 70s, 80s, 90s. Everything is negative based on today. this is what music sounds like.
Oh.
Why does this stuff? No one can be this good with a guitar. This is pure right here. And it'll be like, it could be a Metallica song, but it's just every single one is like, this brings me back to the greatest memories of my life. I hate 2021. but it's not like, it's not a positive thing, even though it kind of is. It's weird. Reviews are a weird place. We're at getting questions, but just good. Amazon and YouTube. Just peek at those.
You know what I do now? Is I'll go reviews. First thing I do is customer images. I just want to look at just help me out. Just show me the pictures because the images will always say like, you see how it leans or looks good. I'm like, okay, customer images. I don't even read reviews. I just go to customer images. And I always think like, who the fuck is taking time to upload customer images to bestbuy.com? Yeah. I don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. You're doing a service. Thank you. Big fan of the pod. Big fan from Chicago. You guys left San Francisco this week, but the lock of the week is Chicago plus the points. They just play the two best quarterbacks of the last 20 years. They have some bad dudes on defense, still with a lot of pride. They're great as home dogs. You're puffy-chested now, pouty-chested after Sunday. Bears 20-13. Keep up the great work. Also, there's a reason Shanahan doesn't want to play Lance like other rookie quarterbacks besides Mac. He's not ready. Bear down. I didn't know the Bears said bear down.
They do, yeah.
So the Wildcats probably took it from them.
Yes. It's like John Baxter took the W flag from the Cubs.
And the checkerboard end zones, Bulldogs, and numbers on every yard marker, 5 yards like LSU.
He stole everything from everyone else, which is the right idea.
So the Fresno State took the W flag from Wrigley.
Yeah. I don't even know if they do the W flag anymore, but it happened.
Yeah, they had it for a while out by Frat Row. The checkerboard end zones from Tennessee.
Those look good, though.
The numbers every 5 yards like
also
LSU.
Looks good.
Oh, jump around from Wisconsin. Yeah. Took that. Yeah. Bulldogs do jump around. Right? Do we still jump around?
Well, they say
did
Mark Twain say, or Steve Jobs said, if you just steal from one person, that's theft, but if you steal from a lot of people, it's research.
Is that from the Alpha quote?
Yeah, it might be. I thought that was a good line.
Bulldogs, Green V, that's original. That's legit.
I have no problem with if you have the similar, like bear down's a cool, bear down,
cool. There's not even a question here. It's just him talking shit to us.
I can see. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like I would, if you tell me the Chicago
Niners
Bears.
Were not our lock of the week.
No, I'm not.
Put them on a parlay, but
I don't feel great. Like I'm prepared for anything. At 10 a.m., I could just feel it being like, this is so boring. It's like 3-3 at the halftime, and people are like, is Kyle gonna is he gonna fly home with the team?
Honestly, an X factor.
I could see 3-3 at halftime.
Gonna fly home with the team. Matt Nagy not coaching, although I don't know as we record this that we know that he's not.
Yeah,
coaching.
I don't think they found him yet.
His special teams coach is going to be the guy, Tabor.
Yeah.
I do think it's just, I would prefer that's just a wild card, right? We saw Cliff. We saw the Cardinals go out and win without Cliff. This team, interim guy comes in, just starts doing something different. You never know. I like Chicago when I know what they are. They're in a box. They're struggling. There's pressure on their head coach. And
what the Rams, no, it's Laser.
Oh,
the Cardinals coaching staff, when I see them on the sideline, feel like a frat house that like, who's cooking tonight? It's like, I'll cook. It's like, you cook. So it's like Cliff wasn't there and Vance is like, I got you, dog. And he starts cooking.
He's a defensive coach.
I know, but it's just like, they're all kind of, you ever see the vibe they have? It feels very young and fun. It's like, I want to hate them. I've talked so much shit about Cliff and Vance, but just watch them on the sideline. It's like, part of it's just winning. It's like, God, they're having the time of their life.
They're having a good time.
They're just having a good time.
Finally, this is from Padermo. He says, Fire pod, 5 stars. Love the pod. Can we quantify how much funner it is to be uber rich and famous in Vegas compared to Oakland for Mark Davis? Also, I need about 2 minutes on Solomon Thomas getting his flowers. Torn ACL, sister commits suicide. Everyone destroys him his whole career. Now he's balling. I mean, it is really impressive for Solomon Thomas, but I think this is part of the deal, right? It was never he's not a pro.
No, remember he was really good against the run. Remember, it was like he played really hard. It was just like he's not quick enough to be on the defensive end or to play on the outside. And he wasn't like strong enough to – it just always felt with the Niners for whatever reason. It's like, well, he's just positionless. With the Raiders, I do look up sometimes, and I think he's 92. I saw him a couple times. Like, damn, he looked a lot quick. He just looks better. Sometimes you just, for whatever reason, mesh, maybe less pressure. Maybe you just feel like the pressure of the pick. I mean, it was the 3rd pick in the draft.
Yeah.
The Niners changed his life, right, financially. That's an enormous contract that he made. He just didn't live up to it. I think I'm saying that wrong. I was a believer when he was coming out. I remember talking to a couple of my friends in the league. I'm like, listen, I watch a lot You watch more Stanford. They were better when he was there. So you watching more Stanford. I'm like, this guy's going to be a top 5 pick. Like, I feel like he's a pick in the 20s or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was insane.
Middlekauff said that.
And, I said the same thing about McCaffrey and I was wrong. But like Solomon, and they were on the same team.
We're only talking about wins right now.
They had 2 guys go in the top 8.
Yeah.
Remember it was Solomon and him? So, yeah, I mean, and the sister thing. Like, and the other thing is every single guy from Stanford, including Richard, who went through this public thing that was really weird. You notice how fast everyone's like, Richard's a really high level guy. He went through it, like everyone had his back. So Stanford guys are just high level guys. So I commend him for the injury was devastating because it felt like his injury was worse than Bosa's. Maybe it was just a clean ACL, but they both look really bad. They happened fucking back-to-back plays or whatever in New York.
It was back-to-back or one play between.
I Instagram storied this the other day. I don't know what the golf course is. It's like the MGM Suite course. It's just a course where you have to be it's a badass course. And you can see the Vegas Strip in the background. And they had, I don't know if it was fake imaged or this actually happens after they win. When it goes dark on Sunday night, they have like the bat signal up in the air over the Strip, and it's the Raiders.
You can see it in the sky if there's clouds.
The picture was from the golf course, and it was over. I don't know what the Pyramid Hotel is.
Yeah.
I've stayed there once. The room.
Luxor.
Yeah, I think it's Luxor.
Luxor.
It shoots up out of the top.
Yeah,
of it.
Yeah,
it looked badass
cool.
From the golf course. I'm like, no one would argue his life is infinitely better, right?
That's pretty good.
But just whenever anything cool happens, he's always VIP. His life, like, he's a high roller there.
Yeah.
The Giants weren't inviting him to games.
No. Courtside, ice side.
The Warriors, he came to Warriors games. But it's different. Like, I think he's the owner of their team now. The NFL team in Vegas. It's a big deal.
Yeah, there's way more high roller, just like events, like all the UFC events, the boxing matches, concerts.
It's a big deal. You're the NFL owner. Dana White likes him, right? I mean, he's just friends with these guys.
He's a likable guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, his press conference talking about all the Washington football team and the Badane, everyone responded like making fun of his look, but they're like, God, he just acts like a
pretty
normal
crazy,
guy.
Pretty hilarious to be wearing a backpack. Always uncomfortable sitting down, but like at in those meetings. But if you watch this thing, he's like, yeah, you could say that, I guess. It's just enjoyable, man.
Do you think most guys are wearing team-issued starter jackets?
I don't do teams issue starter jackets anymore? That's a classic. I don't think you can get that issue.
What would you guess the average dress code was in that room of the owners? Minimum slacks and a button-up?
Yeah, and a blue blazer.
Yeah. What would you say like a dressed-down individual would be? Like collared shirt, slacks?
Tucked in, though.
Yeah, tucked in with like low, $2,000 shoes.
They wear like the loafers with the jeans that are like creased down the middle.
But who would even wear jeans? Most of the owners are old.
It used to be. That's like an 80s rich guy with like the jeans creased down the middle.
Craft suit.
Jonathan, whichever craft.
Jerry suit.
Definitely Kroenke suit.
Yeah. I could see Scottsdale guy, Bidwell, a little, nice pants, maybe like a short, it's New York, so just a long sleeve or something.
No jacket?
Actually, whenever I see him, he feels pretty buttoned up.
Yeah.
It feels like they got a lot of buttoned up owners, don't they?
Yes. That's usually what it's. The last people wearing suits are NFL owners.
Because even Dean, people make fun of Dean.
Dean
is like an old school stiff. Like he's always like in a jacket whenever I see him. Now, sometimes like a collared shirt and a jacket.
Yeah, probably not tailored, but.
Yeah, no.
All right. Good mailbag, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us. Until Sunday night or afternoon.